Dear friends, welcome back to the channel with another TryHackMe room, HaskHell. This is a free room, so everyone can try it out without need for subscription. And in this video, we'll be dealing with one of programming languages, HaskHell. To be honest, this is the first time I encounter such a language. But, as a pen tester, we do not need to grasp the language itself. Our job is how to use it very quickly. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So then we can head over to Linux VM to begin. Okay, so what shall we do next? We need to perform the Nmap scanning to identify open ports. To save time of this video, I've already completed in advance. So now we can get out its result. As you can see here, I took the options like scene scan, the verse scan, default script scan, followed by the ON option to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just as what we are doing now. Although the IP address has been changed since I respawned the target machine, however, this will not affect our demonstration. From the Nmap scanning, we can tell the target machine has two open ports. The first one, 22. The surface is SSH, or Secure Shell Surface, and also we can get its version information. Though this version is not quite updated, I don't think we can find any workable exploit. The second open port, 5001, the surface is HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and also we can get its version information. Guli coin. So I think it's pretty much clear what we are going to do next. We need to enumerate this web application both manually and automatically. But before we go ahead, I'd like to note the key information down to our notebook. Okay, the first open port, 22 SSH, and 80. Oh, sorry, not 80. HTTP. So now we can fire up the browser or Firefox to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address of the target machine into address bar of the browser. We can copy and followed by the port number. So here, welcome to functional programming to 220, blah, 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 during this semester, blah, blah, blah. And so for now, we are just going to start with the basics of arithmetic and function declaration. You can find your first homework here. We can open this link. And so welcome to your first homework assignment, blah, blah, blah. And so this, the statement like, like Python, right? And the types correctly. This language is statically typed language. Okay? And you can submit your homework here. So this means we can use this hyperlink to upload a file. Okay? We can open link in new tab. Unfortunately, we got error not found. Let's go back to the home page and we can check its source code. Nothing special here. And here are some resources. Actually, I've already opened up some links like this one. This is the official portal for this language, Haskell. And the example, even we can, run code here. For example, I'd like to make multiplication. And then we can get the result, right? And by default, this should be number. Okay? And also, okay, here some information about the language. So this is a general purpose, statically typed, purely functional programming language with the type inference and lazy evaluation, blah, blah, blah. We do not need to care about this part. So now we can go back to the Linux VM to continue. So far we have already got very limited information about this application. We need to continue our enumeration as usual. Okay, for example, we can check to see whether this site has robots file or not. Not found. Next, we can launch Nicto to perform automatic enumeration. Nicto can give us a very important information sometimes. It not only gives us common directories and files, but also can give us some other piece of information or other types of information, such as dangerous HTTP method if the application allows, such as put, okay? In other words, if the application or the site allows put method, and pen tester or hacker can utilize such a method to upload web shell, okay? But I don't think we can find anything useful this time. To save time of this video, I'd like to interrupt here. So next, we can launch Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. Okay. Word list, Gobuster extension option. So then Gobuster can start its directory enumeration. Although Gobuster can support other functions, or Gobuster has other types of capabilities, and you can use Gobuster and help. You can get its supported subcommands like the dir. This is the subcommand we are using now, and we host, and we can want to use the IP address as the URL parameter, enumerate the vhost, and even can enumerate subdomain. But if I want to enumerate subdomain, very often I will use other types of tools. Okay, and Flask S3 can use this to enumerate AWS buckets, and GCS bucket enumeration mode. So very, very powerful, and it has very good performance. Okay, so now let's go back to this tab to see. Yes, this time Gobuster has found the directory submit. Now we can access this directory to see what it's about. Submit. So just now, this link is ineffective. Originally, we thought we can use this link to submit file. For example, submit assignment or task, right? And the task should be the programming task, okay? So now we can hit enter. Yes, we can find another link which allows us to submit our assignment here. So I think the next thing will be very easy or very, very straightforward for us to do. We need to upload some script in this programming language, Haskell, okay? And we do not need to grasp this language. As pen tester, we can, you can use the Google make some research, and actually, because we want to get reverse shell, and we can go to this website to generate the reverse shell dynamically, okay? And we can copy maybe we can just copy, you can select the type of reverse shell, okay? And then we can copy. And we can, shell, maybe. So this should be the IP address of Linux or attacking machine in general. And also we can specify listening or listener port, okay? And here, like Python can import a module, okay? This is built-in module. So next, I'd like to copy IP address of the Linux from notebook. We can copy and paste in here. But also I'd like to change the port number to my favorite ones, okay? So now we can write and quit. Then we can set up a listener with the netcat waiting for collection from the target machine. Hit enter. So now the listener has been ready. So now we can go back to this submit function and submit our assignment. Okay. Upload. And if we do not have any error, we can get reverse shell from the target machine. Yes, so sweet. And we can spawn an interactive shell with Python. Python 2 is there. So we can import pty module spawn. Okay, so up to this point, we have already got initial foothold on the target machine. Of course, we cannot stop here. We need to gather information about this machine because we want to make that movement. Okay? And also, I'd like to export the term variable. Okay, so then we can clear screen. So now we can run ID. Current user is Flask, web application of Python. And then we can, so uploads. So nothing here. Go back to the home directory and Haskell. No permission to this SSH directory. So let's go back to go inside the last user's home directory. And then we can grab the user flag without a problem. And also, unlike the Haskell, in the home directory of this user, professor, current user has permissions. We can navigate into this directory. Okay. Even we can find the private key and the public key, and we can get out the private key, and we can copy this private key because we are going to create private key locally. Okay. Oh, sorry. I think I've already made a copy. Okay. So now we can use this private key to SSH to the target. Okay. And professor. And we can copy IP address of the target. We can copy. Hit enter. Yes. Fantastic. We are in the target machine. So now we can get interactive shell with bash command. So then we can, run more commands, including, but nothing here. And next we can run sudo to see whether this user has sudo privilege. Yes, we have Flask. So what it's about? So matching entries for professor on this machine, and environment reset, environment keep. I think we have already encountered this variable before. So maybe we can run it to see what it's about, right? We can sudo bin flask run or not. Flask run. So the options could not locate Flask application. You didn't provide the Flask app environment. Yeah, this one, environment variable. Also, I think, can we get out this file? Yes, this is a Python code. So load entry point, and the this should be the name of the file. Since we got this error, you didn't provide the Flask app environment. So this is the reason why we got such error. So how to do? And we can run this command without password overload. So how about we set this environment variable and we put our reverse shell command or statement into this file, okay, into this variable, okay? So what I mean, we can navigate to temp directory, and you can go to, for example, the website to get the reverse shell of Python. We can copy and paste in here, and we do not need to use this part because we want to, this would be interpreted with or by Python, okay? And also we need to copy this IP address and replace this one. And also we can use another port number, any free port on our Linux machine. We can copy and we can echo. We can call it like a shell. And then we can define environment variable Flask. Maybe we can copy, copy and paste away. We will not make a mistake. We can copy. And the temp shell. Okay. And then we can set up another listener on Linux, waiting for collection from the target machine. Okay. And then we can run this Flask as root. Okay. We can copy. And then you see we have already got another collection from the hash pound. We can know we are root user. Then we can navigate to root directory to grab the final flag. All right, with that being said, that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a good day, please.